we'll get back to that.
Pick that up.
We'll pick that up. Hey, welcome to the 99. You are on the air.
Hello.
Hey, is this Paul?
Hi, this is Paul.
Hey, Paul, what's going on? Welcome to the 99% Radio Network. Thank you for calling in. It's Sideshow and 12.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well, brother. How are you?
He's going, who the hell are
Who
you
are
guys?
you? Who do I dial?
What did Susie set me up with today?
I thought I was ordering food.
I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing you guys. I'm just pulling up to my house. I'll be standing still in a couple minutes.
All right, no problem. We'll wait. No worries.
And he's got some mute now going, Susie, who the hell are these guys?
That's what he's saying. He's going, who'd you set me up with here, you know? I thought you wanted pizza.
All right. Nancy, I'll see you inside.
I think he's in Arizona.
He's in Arizona,
Yeah.
right.
So we are on the line with Paul Yaffe of Bagger Nation, very much an integral part of the High Seas Rally 2022, and the one that's going to build the bike that we're going to give away in 2023. So we wanted to talk about that.
Yeah,
So,
awesome.
Paul, you parked yet?
Yep, I'm good, guys. Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine,
great.
brother.
How you doing, brother?
I am good.
Are you
getting home from picking?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here.
I said, are you recovered from the cruise and from travel to and fro?
I think mostly it was such an amazing event that it really kind of leaves you a little empty and depressed afterwards, because the week of having that much fun and being totally unplugged, having no phones, no internet, no responsibility. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming that you guys had the same excellent time I did, but my God, was that a great event.
When you say that, Paul, we were virgins to this tour. We were virgins on this ship.
I lost my virginity on this.
Yeah, let me tell you something. And it really changed our whole perspective on a lot of things. I mean, this was one of the best vacations. I mean, I'm 55. It's one of the best vacations I've ever gone in my life. You guys
at 55, you guys mean you were ship virgins, right? Not virgins.
But yeah, you guys knocked it out of the park, man. I mean, the whole cruise from start to finish was it was just an amazing, great family event. It was a party time, but you know what? Everywhere you looked, I met so many great people, so many amazing people that are now family friends, man. We're connecting, we're helping each other, we're building each other up, and we're going to help promote them and be part of their world, and that's great, man. The connections that were made on that boat were amazing.
Yeah, that's a part that's kind of hard to describe to people. I mean, you can describe a cruise, you can describe the boat, water, shore excursions, but it's the type of people and the people that we have everything in common with. Everybody lives the same lifestyle and loves the same lifestyle, right? And it's one of those, you're with a bunch of people that you don't have to explain because they do understand, and so you just have a million instant friends. And I'll tell you, I love the way everybody participates on that boat, the way, they have a costume party. Everybody's in costume, right?
Yes.
And everybody's festive and having a great time. You go, they have a belly flop contest. There's 3,000 people, packed around the pool to watch a belly flop contest.
I know.
It's like, it's just great.
You couldn't find a spot. You couldn't find a spot on deck. I mean, that was the highlight of the whole thing, man. That belly flop contest.
Yeah, that's just great. Oh my God, it's my favorite. Yeah.
To your point.
And did you see that guy? The guy who won? Did you see? He was bleeding.
Yes.
I mean, talk about commitment.
And
well deserved.
What's cool about that is that guy that won the belly flop contest, man, he was the star of the show for that moment and that time. He was in hog heaven.
Yeah.
3,000 people cheering him on. I mean, it doesn't get how much better does it get than that?
It was a lot of fun,
it's
man.
just so nice to have a ton of people letting their hair down. Nobody cares what they look like. Everybody's out of shape. It's just a great time.
That's true. That's true. And it was like being at a family barbecue, man. It was you walked on deck, man, and everybody said good morning. It took when I got onto deck 11, it took me probably 20 minutes to get from one side of the deck to the other just to get a beer because everybody's like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, I saw you guys last night," and shaking hands and kissing and hugging and just it was wonderful.
And that was just the men.
Yeah, that was just the men. I'm getting chills just thinking about. I'm just getting chills just thinking about it because that, like I said, man, and even Tigger, my wife, said, this was out of this world, man.
Yeah.
This was out of this world. She loved it.
Yeah. I mean, Susie and I have been on some great trips, and she was writing some blog stuff earlier this week, and she was in the kitchen trying to talk me into that was the best trip we've ever been on, and I was like, we've been to Europe, we've been to Italy, she's like, yeah, but we've been to some more exotic locations or whatever, and she's like, yeah, Europe trips are great. She goes, but there's so much more to it than just where we were or what we were doing. It's all the people we were with and the family that we were with and dancing every night till 4 a.m. and just everywhere we sat down, we made friends and it's just, it's very, very difficult to express it to people, to explain, to get them to get just how awesome, it is.
From the pre-party.
It's very unusual.
And it all started at the pre-party Friday night before we even took off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember sitting out. I remember sitting out in front there, chatting you guys up while we were getting some air. It was hot in that hall where the Black Smoke Sinners were playing.
Yeah, I tell you, and like I said, man, the bang for the buck, the price for the trip, it was it's priceless for a week vacation, for the amount of stuff that you're going to do, for the food. The food was amazing on a ship. Like I said, it was flawless. Paul, let me ask something. How long have you been involved with this? I couldn't find how many years you've been involved with this.
Well, so it's been kind of an off and on thing. I can't do it every year, but it's something we've always supported. They hired me maybe 20 years ago, something like that. I'm going to guess it's when the Discovery shows were really big, and it made celebrities out of a bunch of us mechanics. For a short period of time, but all these events were hiring us to do appearances and stuff, and so the High Seas Rally was one of the events that they hired me to go on the boat, and just be a guest on the boat, and so I went and had a great time, made some great friends, and the same kind of experience, just an amazing trip, different boat, different locations and stuff, but still just it was an amazing memory. And then they got very involved. My wife is Arizona Bike Week. My wife owns Arizona Bike Week.
Oh, okay.
And so the High Seas Rally got very involved with FX Promotions, which is my wife's company, and they went back and forth with co-promoting, and they'd have a booth there, and we'd do stuff back and forth. And she really kind of stayed more involved with them than I did personally, right? So, but if they needed stuff, we always supported them, and we'd have phone meetings and trade ideas on event promoting and raising the bar on our events and stuff like that. So we've always been very co-promotive and interactive with each other. So, and then a few years ago when Greg and Chris, I dealt mostly with Greg, but Greg and Chris, I think is his name, they bought the rally. The original mom and pop who started the idea, their health was failing. They weren't doing great. And so they sold the event to the company that now owns the event right before COVID. So, and the company that owns the event they're professional cruise people. They do other themed cruises. They do like a Star Trek cruise. They do an 80s rock cruise and some things like that. These people know boats, and they know how to put on a great time on these boats, right? But what happened is COVID happened, and all of a sudden they had this new event that they couldn't do anything with for 3 years. They had it all. They had, paid for everything, had the boats leased and blah, blah, but we couldn't sail because of COVID, right?
Right.
So year after year, these people were buying tickets, and their biggest challenge was how do we keep attention on our event, and how do we keep people interested in our event that we can't have?
That's right.
You know, and Susie dealt with some of that too. Susie had to close down 2 events. She couldn't have 2 Arizona Bike Weeks, right? So it was a common problem that we were all discussing was, my God, how do we stay relevant, and how do we keep people remembering our name, but we can't entertain them, you know?
Right,
and that's all we're about, right? Is entertaining people, right? That's the whole idea, right? And so we helped each other. Just, you know, for a couple of years, I've been posting videos and doing all kinds of things and doing this Hamsters on the High Seas rally and trying to get ready for the day when we could cruise again, which, you know, obviously finally came a few weeks ago, and we got to pull it off. And I'll tell you, the people from Epic just did the most amazing job. I mean, I had so much fun, and I even had to work. I had to work a bunch. I was on stage and running from this event to that event and kind of doing some co-emceeing and all that stuff. It didn't bother me a bit. I had a blast with everybody. I was, you know, I'd run out on stage and just feel like I was talking to all my buddies, you know.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, it was great. So this event that just passed was the first one they've been able to do for years, and you know, they pulled it off, you know, epically, and it was just fantastic, you know. So we can't wait for the next one.
Yes.
So Paul, I wanted to ask you, and I'd get it when I get home if I didn't ask you about the KISS bike. I was completely unaware of it until I saw it sitting up on stage. My girlfriend saw it. She just about peed all over herself in excitement because she's a huge KISS fan, and she took pictures of that thing from every angle. Tell us about that KISS bike. It was an amazing bike. The paint job. Did you go up there and look at it?
Yeah. I looked at a lot of his works of art, man. And between him and Xavier, it's like both of them. You guys are such artists when it comes to bike building and fabrication. And I know you're pretty much self-taught on a lot of things. I wish I had that type of talent.
Yeah.
That these guys bring into a bike.
Yeah, we've always been very fortunate, myself and my crew, and believe me, I couldn't do anything that I do without the assistance of my crew. I've got a great crew that have been with me for decades. They're like my family, or they are my family. I don't even say they like my family; they are my family, and we've been together forever. And you know, we've always been very fortunate. Lucky, even if you call it that, it seems like, you know, several times a year we get these commission jobs like the KISS bike, where somebody you would never expect to get a phone call from, you know, calls you and says, you know, hey, we need a KISS bike, right? I mean, I certainly didn't get up in the morning thinking that was going to happen, you know, but that happens fairly frequently in our world.
So was that bike?
You're not going to believe who just called, you know.
Was that bike created for one of them?
Yeah, it was made for Gene. It's Gene's bike, and
wow.
It was a promotion. There's a casino in California that over the years I'm friends with the COO of the casino, and I've done a bunch of bikes for him and giveaway bikes, and they've had you know, Bagger Nation slot machines in their casino, and it had like a bike sitting on top of them, you know, and he's just a friend and a fan, and they have a monstrous, you know, marketing budget to blow every year. These casinos do, and you know, I just got lucky that I was part of his marketing budget, so he was constantly doing things with me. And one of the things that they were doing was this agreement or this promotion with the guys from KISS, and so I think he probably put the bug in their ear, like, hey, we should do a bike, and you know, blah blah, and I know the guy to do it. And anyway, so we long story short, we went out, we met them, saw a show of theirs, and you know, got this job to build the KISS bike, and then we just got to, you know, for a couple of years we just got to go do whatever we wanted. They really didn't have much say in it. You know, they were certainly there. I needed lots of information because I certainly wasn't the, you know, authority on KISS. Actually, we call it Kisstory, but you know, KISS history, right? So there's actually books called Kisstory that are all about the history of the band and the members of the band and their, you know, evolution. And so I got a big education from that. And I didn't know that there was KISS comic books. I wasn't aware of the KISS comic book art. There was lots of things I wasn't aware of. There's an urban myth, and we're not sure if it's an urban myth, that every publishing of the KISS comic books the Kiss band members would actually drop a couple of drops of their blood in the ink. And so the Kiss comic books were printed with a little bit of their DNA in them.
Wow.
And so all the artwork on that bike is all images inspired from the Kiss comic books. And that was all done by a local artist here in Sharpie. He drew all of that. And it's unfortunate we were on the boat because that bike is basically like a rolling Kiss concert. It has this whole light show that it does, and all the graphics blink off and on, and it blows flames, and smoke comes out of the mouth of Gene Spood, and it does this whole thing, this whole show. But we had to disconnect it to be on the boat, so they wouldn't allow it to do all the cool stuff that it does. So there's probably a video of it on our website. I would guess that there's a video of it doing all the special effects that it does. But we got lucky when we finished the bike. We got to go on tour with the band for a few shows again before COVID hit. We got to take the bike to the shows and show it off and present the bike during the Kiss concert. It was pretty cool to be a part of that. That was pretty much a dream come true kind of thing. But we only got to do a few of them, and then the Kiss tour got canceled. That was a few years back, and now the bike's been sitting in my showroom ever since. So what its future is, I couldn't tell you. But
so I got to ask you, Paul. When you did the unveiling for the first time, did Gene Simmons actually ride it? Has he ever actually ridden it?
So no, and not to my knowledge. It hasn't been in my possession the entire time, so I couldn't tell you he has or hasn't ridden it. I haven't witnessed him ride it. The day that we brought it to California to present it to the band, his mom took ill the morning that we were driving in, and he had to jump on a plane and flew it back to New York, and I believe she passed that evening, and so he had to be in New York, so he wasn't there, but Paul Stanley was there, and a bunch of the other crew and members, and him and Gene are the two remaining originals. And the drummer, I think, and the lead guitarist have changed roles a few times in the band. But we did get to spend an afternoon with him and show the bike to them, and it was super fun.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it was well received, and we're super proud of the bike. It was a very fun project, and there's a lot of neat stuff on there. I could spend an hour walking through all the little details that some people don't ever even see, so, but we had a lot of fun.
So, big announcement was made near the end of the 2022 rally, and that is that you're going to be building a custom bagger to give away 2023. Is that correct?
Yes. That is true. I actually just got off the phone today procuring a brand new Road Glide. Wow. And it'll be at my shop next week, and we're going to get right to it, rocking and tearing it apart and getting it all done. We've got a few more surprises with that bike that we can't unveil yet, but that we're working on, that have a few more players involved with it. Hopefully that'll raise the bar on that bike a little more, and should be a fun project. Hopefully we can wrap it up maybe for Daytona. We'll see how that goes, and maybe we can unveil it in Daytona at the High Seas booth. I'm sure they're going to want it to take around they make a lot of events throughout the year, and I'm sure they're going to want that bike with them so they can promote that they're going to give it away and let everybody get a look at it. And, here's 2020.
Well, here's an opportunity for you as well, Paul, if you want, and I'm just throwing this out there. Last year, we have what we have here in Texas is called the Ocho Awards. And last year, Xavier brought the bike to the Ocho Awards. We usually have about 600 to 1,000 club members from around the world. They came in from as far as England last year, and we have an award ceremony for the clubs who give back to their communities. So
that's great.
Me and 12 we're offering you an invite if you can. It's probably around April
22nd.
April 22nd. We will be having our annual Ocho Award, third annual Ocho Awards. You are more than welcome to come down, display the bike as Xavier did. We would love to have you be a part of it.
Yeah, well, that's something by then. I mean, Bike Week will be over. Arizona Bike Week will be over, so that's a good thing because we'll be buried before that. But that's something by then. High Seas will have possession of the bike.
Oh.
But again, depending on what they're doing, and I'm sure Xavier is going to be totally involved with the event this year as well, and hopefully helping me with some of this stuff. So I'll certainly run it by him, and if we can make it, I certainly will. I love going to Texas.
Well, bike or not, you're more than you and Susie are more than welcome to attend. As Xavier and we Barbie the Builder said she was gonna, if she had some time, she was gonna make the Woman of the Year award for
nice
for us.
She's a hoot, isn't she?
She is a wonderful woman, man, and I got to sit in on her meet and greet, and her meet and greet was again, I'm getting emotional because I love her book from shit to sugar. FU from shit to sugar, because here is a woman who through her life had so many obstacles placed in front of her, and she's overcome those obstacles, and she is she shows what perseverance is all about. If she is dedicated for something, she just kept moving forward, and I love to see that in a person who does not take self-pity on herself and says, I'm going to do this, and has a dream and starts following that dream. And man, if her story does not inspire young people and old, man, I don't know what would, because she is a wonderful person. She really is. Really good, warm heart.
You just standing next to her, even if you don't know her, just standing next to her, you get an amazing sense of
the energy,
her positivity and her energy. Yeah.
Yep. And that was the whole boat, though, man. Everybody had some energy. I mean, we had Ray Alandano from Wounded Warriors. What an amazing guy. So many great people. And like I said, there it is. It's the energy of that boat, man. It was electrifying, and you could not have a bad time. If you had a bad time on a boat, that was your own fault.
Yeah.
There was.
Yeah. If you, that's for sure.
And somebody turned around to me. We got back, and they're like, 3,000 bikers on a boat with free alcohol. That must have been a debauchery. I'm like, dude. Yeah. Everybody was hugging, shaking hands, and just smiling and laughing and letting themselves be who they are. And they were like, no fights. I'm like, no fights, no arguments, no pushing matches. I said, this was family. It was like sitting at a family dinner with 3,000 people, like-minded individuals who all have the same servant's heart. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I will take that to the grave. Yeah. It was a wonderful experience. I'm glad we were invited to be part of that.
And I'm so glad you guys decided to make it. I'll tell you another thing too is the crew of the boat is amazing.
Yes.
Who can forget Washy Washy?
Washy Washy Washy.
No Washy, no Edie.
Yeah, but their enthusiasm about everything is intoxicating too, right? I mean, yeah, they're incredibly dedicated to making sure everybody on that boat has whatever they need and are having a great time.
I tell you, our steward who took care of our cabin, when we first got there, because my wife's a big, she likes to see the pillow, the towels rolled as animals because she's a big animal lover. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so he made sure she had a special animal every day, and it was like we'd be walking down the hall. He's like, "Oh, Mrs. Salerno, I got a special animal hanging in there," and he would put it in different positions, and it overjoyed her so much that just those little things, those little touches that the crew did, really made it so much more warm. And like you said, Paul, the crew was amazing. Yeah. Everybody was. Can't say enough about any. Can't say so many nice things, man. It was great. It was great.
Well, Paul, listen.
Yeah, we got home and walked into our room, and Susie was all bummed, and she was like, "Oh my God, IDEAM isn't here. Who's gonna turn? I want turn down service." So someone suggested we should have put him in our suitcase and snuck him home or something. So.
Oh, my wife wanted to, and she and our guy goes,
"That was a cabana bowl."
He goes, "You'll be charged 4 towels."
Tigger wanted to take the Cabana Boy home.
Oh, she took the Cabana Boy home. She took the Cabana Boy home.
There.
Yeah, he's still there. We'll wait until next High Seas Rally to put it back. Now, tell us about next High Seas Rally, Paul. It's going to be. Now, I heard some good things from the people on the boat that this is a totally different experience with different venue. You want to just touch on that real quick?
It is. It's a new boat. It's a little smaller boat. It's a little more streamlined, which means that people that are thinking about or hesitating to get on the cruise don't want to wait. Just so you know, half of the rooms for this coming rally were booked on the 2022 rally.
Yes.
So we got off of that boat. This year's rally was, or 2023's rally was half sold out when we got off the boat. And I think if I'm right, don't quote me on this, but I think there's 2,000 staterooms. So half of those are already gone, and I'm sure more by now. But it's not. I would be shocked if by the time spring, early summer hits that we're not sold out. So it's the word is just out, and it's so positive that I think everybody that was hemming and hawing or that didn't make it to 2022 is definitely going to be up for it on 2023, and I think I'm pretty sure we'll sell out. But we also have some new, and again, I know we're taking over the Keys on Halloween. We're doing some big shore excursion party on Halloween in the Florida Keys, in Key West, excuse me, not the Keys, but Key West. So we're taking over Key West as the first stop, and then I think we're at sea for a day, and then I think we're in Jamaica, or maybe at sea for 2 days and then Jamaica. And then after Jamaica, I think we're in Cozumel. And then I'm not exactly sure what happens after that, but same length of cruise, same amenities, same great posh atmosphere. But again, on a newer, smaller boat, again, it's a little. There's certain limitations as to where certain boats can go.
Right.
And a ship the ship the size of the one we were on couldn't go to certain places. So we're super excited to be on this new ship, and super excited for everything that's going to happen in 2023 on the rally. So
well, yeah, I can't wait. We're going to be there, and we're going to promote the hell out of it throughout this year, and we're going to sell that boat out. We're going to make sure it gets sold out because we want everybody to enjoy the same wonderful time that we did, and we can't wait to see you and Susie again, and enjoy another great year on the High Seas Rally.
Yeah, we're totally excited about it too. It'll be here in a minute too. This 2023 is just going to blow by, and with things opening up and things getting back to normal and rallies getting up fully back and running, and I'm sure it's going to be a crazy, fun-filled year. So
what are some of the events you got coming up? You want to promote anything? Any events coming up in Arizona?
So nice thing is we're quiet for the holidays, which we're really going to appreciate and enjoy. Spend some time with our kids, and then we get right at it. I know we've got a couple of trade shows in January. We're in Italy right after the first of the year for the there's a huge the Moto Expo in Verona.
Wow.
And then we've got a couple of trade shows. Drag Specialties, the country's largest distributor of aftermarket Harley products, has their big, what's called an NBP show in Louisville for all their dealers and manufacturers. And then we roll right into Daytona, and we've got Arizona Bike Week. Within a few weeks of that, we've got the Donnie Smith show in Minneapolis, right between Daytona and Arizona Bike Week. And then I know we have something coming up in May, and I know beginning of June, Laconia has its 100th anniversary, and we'll be there for that. And then all eyes turn to Sturgis. We'll be getting ready for Sturgis, and I'm sure we'll have a couple of stops before Sturgis in the summer. We'll get out to a couple of events with truck and trailer and our wares and do that. So,
hey, Paul, when you go to Italy, you need to let us know, because we know and have a lot of contacts over there.
A lot of clubs
in the club world, a bunch of them, and we could help gin up some interest over there.
Yeah, I'm surprised how many. So if you've never been to the Moto Expo, it's probably 500,000 to 700,000 people.
Wow!
It's a monstrous event. So I'll ask you guys to imagine the biggest convention center you've ever been to see a motorcycle show, right? Think of the biggest show you've ever been to in the States, right? Whatever it is, whether it's an Easy Rider show or whatever event it is, right? I know, like in Timonium, I'm thinking of some of the biggest ones I've been to. So imagine that times 10. So there's it's actually 9 convention centers linked next to each other. You couldn't walk the whole show in 3 days. It's every manufacturer, every vendor, every aftermarket person in Italy, most of the manufacturers from the U.S. that sell internationally are there with big booths. These vendors, it's so hard to describe this show, but these vendors show up weeks before the event starts to build these 2- and 3-story vendor displays.
Wow.
And they do it the way the Europeans do it. So they have, sexy, scantily clad women, they have fashion shows, every booth you walk into, they'll make you an espresso or a cup of coffee, and they'll try to feed you,
it's almost a city inside the convention.
It's incredible, and it's all based in the town of Verona, which I couldn't tell you how old Verona is, but it is one of the most beautiful cities you'd ever want to see in Italy. And then every night, everybody makes a pilgrimage into the town of Verona, and you walk everywhere. Nobody uses cars. You walk everywhere, and the food is just unbelievable. And you have a new discovery every day or evening in Verona. Just having this incredible. I mean, every street you walk down, there's just thousands of year-old churches that you could just open the door and walk in, and it's you'd think every single one would be some kind of museum that, would be incredibly over-securitied, but they're not. They're fully functional, operational, cathedrals that are just mind-blowing, and you're there for a week of that, and it's just unbelievable. And the bikes they build, and the custom show, and the creativity of these. So Europe is like the United States, right? Except it's countries instead of states.
Right.
So there's people from 28, to 30 countries, converge on Verona, and it's an amazing event. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see some pictures of that. And, if you want to follow Pual and you want to check him out at some of the events, go to baggerNation.com and you can check out his events page and follow him, man. And when you get to the event, go say hello. Learn more about what Pual Yaffe's Bagger Nation does. I looked at your website. There's not a part you couldn't buy for your bike and really trick your bike out yourself or and get some ideas. He's got a lot of information on his website. Go to baggernation.com and trick out your own bike and make it a Pual Yaffe Bagger Nation bike.
Yeah, we've been at it for 33 years, and we couldn't have done it with all of our friends and family and fans and supporters. We appreciate everybody supporting us over the years and the decades, and hopefully, another 3 decades from now, we'll still be hanging out. But we'd love to meet everybody. We're very approachable, very personable, and we love talking motorcycles. So come say hi if you get the chance.
Well, Pual, I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us, two knuckleheads, and sharing your story and sharing the High Seas Rally. We really do appreciate it. Get some rest, go spend some time with your family and the kids, and we will see you next year at either the Ochos or on deck at the High Seas Rally.
Yep, look forward to it, guys. Have
All right,
a great
brother,
day.
take care.
Take care, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, man, that was Pual Yaffe from Bagger Nation. Go to baggernation.com. Like you said...